Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to another episode of Naked Sunday. I'm your host, Caleb Nelson. And damn it, I am really excited for today's podcast because I have my longtime friend, Mr. Colin Smith, joining us on the show. Colin, thank you for joining me today, brother.
It's great to be back in the studio with you, Caleb. 20 years ago, we shared a studio, literally. Uh, I can't even think of what the size of dorm rooms really are relative to like apartments. I had less than a studio, but hey, try it with two beds and two dressers and two computer desks.
I think it was smaller than the current living room I'm sitting in right now. So,
It's
yeah,
gotta be. It's gotta be. I couldn't. For a lot of reasons, I couldn't imagine walking into college right now, but, like, I know I'm not we didn't neither of us had growth spurts in the 20 year like, you're 18 years old, you're a fully developed person, but, like, I couldn't imagine walking into a dorm room right now and just being like, "What's going on here?" So, 20
getting
years,
as you
man,
start.
you and me. How about
Dude,
it?
we're doing it. We're doing it. We're
We're
doing it. We're still friends. We're still we still
Yep,
we still stay in touch. It's
yeah,
crazy. Like we're just talking about a mutual friend of ours, and
mhm.
you and him and maybe like three other people from college was kind of really massive feat for me. I'm not the greatest at keeping in touch with a lot of things, so
Hard.
um,
It's
I
very hard.
it is. But you know this because you have actually listened to some of these episodes. I
Mhm.
like to start my show off with why I appreciate my guest.
Oh, okay.
And naturally, well, I do this because I think one of the best paths to world peace is through starting by telling each other why we love each other. Call me crazy, but it seems pretty simple and pretty obvious, but we seem not to do it. And naturally, of course, I'm thinking about how we got to know each other. And you, from the moment I met you, I always felt like I could just be myself. I felt safe and like there was like just this vibe of like we're just here together and this guy's just gonna be who the fuck he is and I'm cool with it. I never felt like you were judging me for being me, and especially at that time in my life, you've listened a little bit like and you know this about me of that I grew up in a cult and I left a bunch of things and like really trying to figure myself out in college was my first real exploration into a lot of that. And even just you know, we're gonna get into it a little bit. You sent me this playlist earlier, and I'm thinking back to these songs, and like you would had this great ability to set the environment for people to just chill out and hang and be with each other. And I've always admired that about you. Like you and you have the most fucking contagious laugh on the planet. Like it's my favorite. It's my favorite. My wife has commented on it too, and I love it, man. It's like you just make me feel like I'm at home with myself, and there's something really profound about being in the space with somebody who makes you feel comfortable enough to be yourself. So thank you for being you, brother.
I appreciate those kind words. It's funny because I'm doing my best to listen to you, but then I'm trying to also think of, well, why do what do I love about Caleb? Why do I appreciate him so much? And I can't put a word on it. But maybe because I allow you to be myself. I always was able to be myself, but around you, I could go up to this absurd level that I always kind of want to be at. And you were just there for the ride with me. You would listen to my absurd stories and jokes, and I would kind of almost be a caricature of myself. But that's where I'm kind of most comfortable, just being absurd a little bit. And I don't know what that quality is, but on the flip side of you is like I've just always felt like you've been I have like 3 or 4 people in my life that are kinda like these I'm gonna say it's not even moral, but, like, it's a compass, and you direct me north. And not I don't I don't have a description of what north is. It's just kind of this back to normal. I've got some things on my chest, I can say them to you. I can be myself to you at no fear of being judged. It's also like a bring back down to earth. I tend to live very much up here, and unfortunately, sometimes very much down here. It's in the past little bit, I've been getting right here, which is a nice place to be. But when I've been down here, there's a handful of people in my life that can get me from down here to up here, and you're one of them. And I don't have a word for that, so I hope people listening today aren't like Oh, wow, they're doing a podcast, but Colin's got no words. But that's what I appreciate about you. Um, so yeah, that feels good, man. Good start. I like this.
Dude, making me I'm almost in tears, and like, of course, like she may be crying for me right now, like that she's feels that she's waking up from a nap. Of course, as we get going, she knew that we were going to talk to Uncle Colin today,
Of
so
course, yeah,
here it was. Wow,
yeah.
thank you so much, man. And somebody asked me, what was it? Like, what do you want to be loved for? What do you want to be wanted for? And this is true, like even with clients, friends, whatever, like my intention when I walk into being around somebody is like I want somebody to leave being around me feeling more confident in themselves. And to you saying in that way, like feels like I'm doing a good job of that. So thank you for
So yeah,
helping me clarify my intentions, or at least making sure like I'm still staying true to what I care about. Like the North Star thing was really insightful.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
I don't. I never actually never said it out loud. Kind of the North Star thing, but I guess that's kind of going north. The North Star, whatever the magnetic compass that leads you in the right direction. That's always been. It's always been you. For me. I can think of a handful of times, especially when we were in college, that like I would say things where I think I can even just, and I don't have specific examples, but I was like, whoa, I really just let that out there to him, and well, he listened to it and didn't really throw it back at me, and that was that. You kind of there is something, and I would love to read like a kind of study about this. You and I were just plucked from names in a hat and put together in Cortland. I would love to see the percentage of people that still talk to their freshman year roommate, the percentage of people that are still on good terms with their freshman, and then the amount of people who are like, if I ever see that guy again, I'm not. It's not going to be good. But when you live with someone, you have these lifelong friends from high school and elementary school. You don't see them every day. You see your college roommate every single day. So within a month, you're going to be more connected to that person in a lot less time than friendships you've had for your whole life. And so maybe for whatever reason, you and I were just like, well, we're changing in front of each other. I guess there's really, kind of let's just let it all out and not like that, but kind of be one with
like
each other and figure it out. And and here we are.
there's something really insightful about that. I shared a room with my siblings growing up, so like college to share with one person actually was kind of nice. And I was like, oh, this is no big deal. Like, I don't, it doesn't phase me. Like, I had my own room for a little bit of time, but
Hmm.
my own personal room in high school was smaller than our dorm room. So, yeah, for me, it was just like, cool. Here's a dude to hang with, and he's cool. And I actually genuinely enjoy your company. And, uh, yeah, it was like an interesting time to kind of find ourselves, and that
For
would be
sure.
a very interesting thing to say 20 years later. Do you still talk to the guy that just like got plucked out of a hat with you? Like, is the end? Not only that, how has the conversation evolved? Is it still, hey, we're just talking sports and this and that, and
Hmm.
before we even got on, we're like, hey, we're interested in talking about like what's it like to be a dad, and thoughts on fatherhood, and can
Hmm.
you go deeper? How many people don't actually evolve in their thing? It's always like I was thinking like, was it Al Bundy? It's like I had 3 touchdowns back in high school, that kind of idea. It's just that always try to relive the heyday as opposed to are we evolving forward as humans, and can we grow together? Where I think not enough people are willing to say like, hey, I'm evolving, I'm changing. I'd love to open you up to that part of me too, because it's scary, especially if you're like we learn how to accept each other on this level. Mm, but it's new, and I've seen how some people reject me. Will this other person reject me in that same breath, or even though I love and value them? That's hard. It's scary because like you want to preserve the love and that feeling of warmth and connection, but it's man, I can only say like I enjoy it. Like, wow, I get to know this person on a whole new level. I
Yeah.
get to see, it's like I'm getting to know a whole new person.
Hmm. Yeah. I've always heard this thing of like the age you are when you meet someone is the age you'll always be with them. If you met someone when you're 6, you'll kind of always retreat back to being kind of a 6-year-old to them. If you met someone in your late 20s, you're a mature adult. Well, I'm a mature adult around them, and I'm kind of getting it now. I was going to say, well, we're 18, but we don't go back to being 18, and I wonder if because it's not the age we met, but where we were when we met, which is finding ourselves and growing. And so maybe that's just always kind of been a theme. So maybe I've had it wrong this whole time. It's not the age you met, but like the stage of life that you met at. And maybe that's why that we've been able to kind of continue and grow and have conversations that evolve from sports and yucking it up to fatherhood and what we think about raising humans and stuff like that. And we share feedback on what's bothering us, what's what we're doing good lately, and um, yeah. So I still you meet someone as a middle schooler, you're going to have that kind of sophomoric humor with them if that's how you started at. And maybe you don't grow with them. There there's good and bad to it. I mean, you kind of always want to continue to grow and you never want to always go backwards. But at the same time, two of my best friends, when they're in a room together, they will relive the past, but in a way that you've just put on your favorite greatest hits album and you're gonna let it roll. And it's like they're not living in the past, but they're reliving the past. And so there's a big distinct difference in that. And it can be beneficial both ways. But man, I feel like we're already getting a little deep here and pulling some stuff out. And
Yeah.
maybe it's landing, maybe it's not. I don't know. Your listeners are gonna be
No,
the ones. So I don't know.
I have no idea who's listening. Truth be
I
told, I still have all I know is like sometimes my mom listens. Like that's it. So every
right.
now and
Yeah.
then, hi mom,
Yeah.
hi mom, if you are listening.
Hmm.
Um, she might have stopped listening a few years ago, but
Well, I can
no, that
assure
was
you, my
actually
mom, my mom will be listening to this. I can assure you. I can assure you.
hi mom. Hello, Mrs.
Yeah.
Smith. I miss
Yeah.
you. I miss you in my life.
You
Would
want to
love
do
to
a
see you
quick?
again sometime soon.
You want to do a quick my mother story here on the pod? That's one of my
Yes.
sister's all-time favorites. You may not remember this. I don't. I don't. Um. So my mother, who recently just retired, she's with my 3-year-old son right now. So we can do this. So that's cool. The day we graduated in '09, we're having a party at our house and we're indulging. It's a celebration. It was a great day. We've just put an exclamation point on 4 years of college. And we're at our house and we're on our porch and it's me, you, my mom, my sister. I think my dad was there. And like I think for whatever reason, like it was maybe like Manny and like another person. Um And my mom says, she can't bend down to tie her shoes. And she goes, Caleb, I've known you the longest here. Would you mind helping me out with my shoes? And my sister's like, just incredulous. She's like, you've known him the longest? Really, mom? Like, it was just like such a, like, clearly she's looking across at you and the other people she's kind of just meeting for the first time. And I think that's a fine story. I don't think I've made anyone feel too bad with that. But Caleb, I've known you the longest. Husband, daughter, son, right next to her. But I think that's just a fun way to kind of talk to my mom's listening. If she will listen, I think she'll like that story. It's a fun story. So
Love it. I just like my first. I think your mom is the first person like I officially met walking into the dorms. Like, and she
I
gave
think
me a
you're
big
right.
hug and like,
Yeah,
yeah, I've known her the longest, damn it, and I feel
yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
part of the family. So welcomed
Maybe
in.
maybe that's what she meant when
Wonderful.
she's like, "I've known you here at Cortland the longest." Because even my son's not in this room right now as I'm meeting his roommate. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. That's another YouTube clip of roommates meeting the other mother for the first time. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Can only imagine your impression of mine. Um,
Nothing
yeah,
but good things,
yeah.
nothing but good things.
She's intense and she is loving.
That's
We've drifted. I didn't even give you a chance to introduce yourself. Okay, so
hmm,
we got to before we go off into the rest of our deep ends because you've already brought in playlist greatest hits album.
yeah.
Colin, you know yourself better than I, so
Okay.
share with our audience who are you?
Who am I? Well, my name is Colin Smith. I will be turning 39 in February. Um, and I'll say this sentence to describe who I am. I'm a father of two, and I'm a husband of one. And I see you kind of smirking a little bit. Um, I've been on these Instagram profiles, and everyone's, girl, dad, boy, mom, uh, father of 14 kids. I'm like, what is going? Why are they so interested in how many? And I decided to write like in my head, husband of one. That line just made me laugh so hard. Um, and I told our friends this the other day, and my wife Val looks at me and she goes, you think that's way funnier than it actually is. And I said, yes, I do. I do think it's way funnier than I realized like anyone else could think it. So who is Colin Smith? I'm a father of two, a husband of one, but I'm someone who enjoys making jokes to themselves more than I could make anyone else laugh. So I thought that was that's who I am. Son,
I
son of
love.
two parents, two as most of us, I think. Son of two parents. I don't know. These Instagram bios are just I can't look away. I read them all. They're the best.
I haven't had a Caleb attack in a better part of like probably 5 years, maybe longer. You're the one who can bring it out of me. I'm fighting one right now. And for anybody who doesn't know what a Caleb attack is, Colin, I think you're the one who actually coined it. Is like where I will laugh to the point of where like I stop breathing
Couldn't
altogether. I think
breathe.
everybody's had it. You literally can't fucking breathe.
Couldn't breathe. We were nervous about you a few times, and I was like, "Man, do I gotta dial it back a little bit or what?" Like, um,
You bring it
yeah,
out of me,
we
man.
and I was actually nervous. I'm like, this is a podcast. This is for other people. We're gonna share some inside jokes, some stories, but like, it's not gonna be a good podcast if I just sit here and make jokes from 20 years ago and try to get you to laugh and Caleb attack. I don't want that for today. But so I guess this is a sign of growth. You're holding back on a Caleb attack, and I'm holding back from giving you one. So this is good. This is what our
There's no
progress is all.
guarantee. There's no guarantees. We might have to finish with one, and I'll just like
Well,
let
yeah,
that one ride. And I'll put the cue the end music and like just let
right,
it roll out, and it'll be
right,
good like on a final one,
yeah.
dude.
Um,
Oh God,
Good
that
time. Yeah,
feels
my
great.
face is already hurt. These video podcasts are tough because I'm just looking at my face get all red, and I'm trying not to laugh as hard as I can. So yeah, like Colin Smith. All jokes aside, my wife and I have been married coming up on 8 years. We've been together for over 10. I've got two boys, 6 and 3. My other favorite joke: the doctor. You go to the doctor's office. They ask you these general screening questions now, and the nurse goes, "Is anyone harming you emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually?" And I'm like, "Both my sons, all the time." That's like I'm just like, yes, I'm consistently held down emotionally. My 3-year-old will jump on me from like a running start, which is no different than probably many children, but um, financially, yeah, there's been a hit. So so that's me, I guess. Just these little jokes and the way I look at life. But uh, I don't know. I like that. I'm up here. I'm down here. I like to have a good time. I like to be serious. I like to be jokeful. Um, my wife will always kind of. I don't think people understand your humor sometimes, and I'm like, that's their problem, not my problem. I'm cracking up. And I know you are too, Val. Like you, she's losing it on the inside too. And I said, if I can't, what am I doing here if I can't make myself or just her laugh? Um, so
God.
that's all. Also, I guess I should say too, because I think one of the reasons, my wife and I we own a business together, Smithwood Bloody Mary mix. I'll stand up.
It is
Uh,
delicious. It is delicious.
Thank you. Yes. A couple of years ago. It's been kind of part of our. It sounds so silly sometimes, but Bloody Marys are a part of our identity. My wife's been making them going on 15, 20 years. She makes the best one. She'd make it for all of our friends. She hooked me after not being a fan of Bloody Marys for many, many years, and I was like, oh, I just never had the right one. Um, the story goes, I got laid off in late 22. We had just had our second born. Throwing out all these numbers and losing track of all the jokes I made, but our second born. And we were just having a Bloody Mary on a Sunday. We looked across the table from each other, and she said, "Is now the time to bottle this?" And I just didn't hesitate. I said, "Yep, yep, it is." I can still remember that whole day. We've got a whole notepad on the iPhone of all of our business ideas, and so that was late 22. We kind of started selling it as like a soft launch through social media for anyone who wanted to order. Our friends, anyone who kind of followed us on social media or like was before our business, they all knew Val made a great Bloody Mary. Even if you'd never interacted with us personally, you'd kind of heard about it if you were introduced to us. And so what is it, January 2026? We're about 4 years in. We're in several stores around the area here in Rochester. We do a couple of festivals a year. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but you and I have kind of talked about it. If you just kind of find your hobbies and turn them into ways to make a business out of them or make a community out of them, it's it's just the way to go. It's just the way to go. I mean, it's in a way, we do these festivals and there's setup, there's tear down. It's physical labor. We got to make the mix, and we do everything. We make the mixes, we distribute the mixes, we sell the mixes, we drink the mixes. Um, we're a four-person team, and two of our employees need babysitters. So it's a lot of work, but we figured out a way to make these festivals are date days for us, and it's time together. So yeah, we'll give up a Saturday here and there, and luckily we've got some great babysitters, and we're able to kind of do our thing and hang out and be together, and all the while have a Bloody Mary while we're doing it and make a little money selling it to people who really like it. And it's really cool. It's really cool. For those, I'm just going to say it right now. I'm sorry I've talked a lot, but for those, please follow us on social media. But we do not ship yet. Yet. So if you're not in the Rochester area and you're like, oh, I could use a Bloody Mary right now, and you're, in New York City or Minnesota, I'm sorry, if we just can't get it to you. We're a keep refrigerated product, and so that's kind of the key to our success. And we're looking at a lot of different avenues right now, but we don't ship. So um, stay posted.
Yet,
Yet,
yet.
yet.
I will. I don't drink anymore, but I'll drink the damn mix. I will.
You
Like, I'm
know,
here
I
for it.
I was shocked. Obviously a Bloody Mary is a cocktail. There's no two ways about it. We do our best to not make it about drinking, but we're not naive either. You put vodka in a Bloody Mary or put, tequila. A lot of people do. We genuinely have people that just drink our mix straight up. No mixer, just as a juice. And it was not something I saw coming. We don't when we do sampling, we don't even bring liquor. We're not allowed to, and that doesn't deter people. So it can be enjoyed over ice, nothing else. It's all there made up for you. It's no different than kind of your morning orange juice. I do it myself sometimes. I'll never forget. One of my best friends sent me a picture one time. It was like a Wednesday morning, and he's just like, "Great stuff," and I was like, "Dude, you got to work right now. What are you doing?" He's like, I just having the I'm like, "Oh, you can do that. That is neat. I never thought about it like that." You know? Um, and so,
Well, and
yeah, I mean
from a perspective, also like it makes you very accessible. A lot of people I find struggle to give up drinking. Like they've been wanting to give up drinking, but it's a social thing. They feel the pressure. I've got to have something in my hand. When
Mhm.
and I've seen the I think the first one I had from your wife, this was when I was still drinking, several years ago. She had bacon, she had all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy shit in it. It was I mean, it was deluxe.
Mhm.
And it's like, you look at that, you have nobody knows if there was booze in that or not. And it's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
but because you wanna feel like you're part of an experience, you wanna feel like you're
Mhm.
able to enjoy the thing, and, like, realistically real talk, most people are really honest with themselves, they don't actually like alcohol. They like the other stuff that goes along with alcohol. And I'm not saying some people don't like a good
Mhm.
whiskey or whatever. Say they don't. Um, but there's something about like, cool. Now there's an accessible thing that I look like enjoying the same thing, and it takes all the other stigmas out of it. So, and God forbid you're drinking more or less like fancy tomato juice, like healthier things. Like this is a crazy idea. Like you're gonna feel good after drinking this thing, as opposed to just crushing sodas and then
Right,
feeling like
yeah.
garbage. Like it's tasty.
Mhm.
So I think it's awesome. It's aside from the fact that I love you guys and I know it's actually a good product. Like it's cool. You know, that's there's something really powerful there.
Yeah, and, it's a part of our story, that me and her, we're fans of it, she makes it and stuff like that, but, like, as a stand if you know nothing else, the product's good. And, what you find out too is that no 2 taste buds are the same. We have people all the time that are like, "That was way too hot." And then there are other people that are like, "I would go up a few on the spices," or, "You should make a hotter version." And I'm like, "Well, she just said no, you just said yes. I'm not we make this." I hope you like it, and a lot of people do, which is cool. So yeah,
It's
but
something
you're right.
that's
Yeah,
one of
no.
the oh, I was just thinking like the whole time you're talking, like that was one of the best intros I've ever had. I just did my best to like not laugh and cry into the microphone the entire time to cut off your sound the whole time. But one of the things that really stuck out in me with me there is like about your wife being like, Colin, other people might not think you're funny or whatever it is. And I love that you're like, but I think I'm funny. It is what it is, and I'm here to amuse myself. And I say this because probably about 2, 3 months ago, we went on a double date with one of her colleagues, another principal, and that was the first time I met her and her husband, and I'm friends with her husband now too, and we've become like family friends. Anyway, I would tell my wife like I'm tired, like I want to talk about deep shit. I don't want to talk about the fucking weather. Like I'm past that point in my fucking life. Like I'll talk about the game enough to shoot the ship, and like
Mhm,
let's really like what do you care about in this life, that because that's what I'm interested in.
mhm,
And I was pretty upfront. Like she was all like, Caleb, well, not everybody can deal with your intensity, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, well, this is Caleb Nelson, so fucking deal with it. And I walk in and we sit down at dinner, and I more or less just say that pretty bluntly, like, hey man, like I'm this kind of guy, blah blah blah. I like to talk about real shit, like. And by the end of it, he was like, hey man, like I really appreciate you just saying that. It was refreshing, and like I, what it also gives other people permission to is just to like do the thing and say the thing they really want. And I've come to learn that most people are willing to do most things. They're just not willing to go first. So you just being like, I'm going to make a joke because I think it's funny and I want to fucking laugh. Cool. Or I want to talk about some deep, real shit with people and talk about life and what they care about and what they are driven by and blah, blah, blah. Cool. They wanted to too. They just didn't know how to do it. Somebody else was willing to take the first step. And crazy enough, most people want to talk about what inspires them, what lights them up, and other people want to fucking laugh. Crazy idea. Like a
mhm.
little more
Yep,
joy, a little more depth, and we feel more human. Otherwise, we're just like numbing out at this plateau for all of our, and so many people just go through their day to day just kind of checked out. Like,
mhm. Yeah,
ugh,
yeah.
ugh. So I loved that about your intro, man. That was awesome.
Well, you hit on 2 things there that I think you hit on a lot of things, but above all else, I think all we're seeking from other people is just authenticity. We're not gonna get along with everyone in the world. We're gonna see things different ways. We have different senses of humor. But like you said, that by the end of that day, that guy was just like, you were just yourself. And I really like that. Now, someone else might not have been that down for that in that moment, but I think maybe they didn't tell you, but they probably walked away. I was like, that guy really was himself, and that's really kind of all that, we can everyone can spot a fraud a mile away, and it's like if you're just yourself. Now it's one like if you just sat down at the table and you're like spouting off questions, you're like, what is the what is this coming from? That's not a good way to communicate. But if you establish your own identity, who you are, what you believe in, and then you can get into the questions, establish some background. You ask right questions, you ask good questions, because you're not just asking to ask. I know you. You really want to find out about people. I really want to find out about people. So you find that common ground. And you just come at it. You just ask it. This is something we're trying to teach our children a little bit. Is like hey, that person's got this. Name it a certain kind of coat, a disability. And I'm like, if you are respectful, you can ask that person anything you want. I really believe that way. They may not want to talk about it, but I almost am sure that they will find that they've always kind of wanted to be asked about it, and they're like, the way you just asked me, I've actually never talked about it, and I'm really excited to talk about it, even just for a second. It's like if you just use respect when you're asking things, I just think that that's so crucial. So I'm sure you did it in a respectful way. I'm sure Lexi was clutching, the break as much as she could. But that I think that's a good partner though too. Let's be fair to the Vales and the Lexis. You gotta you and I need to be reined in a little bit. And that's okay. We've clearly sought partners in life to put us on the right path. The ultimate North Star is our wives. And luckily, I think you and I have lucked upwards to the North Star about them keeping us on the street. Yeah, there's a part of me that wants to sit down at dinner and just take my shirt off just to make someone laugh. I've learned that that's not the case anymore. Um,
I would
one of
embrace it.
my hold on, hold on. But you mentioned something else too, and this is something I'm really trying. I hate to use New Year's resolution because resolutions go away. What is it, the 13th? They're already done. But something I'm really trying to enact in my life. I'm calling it. I'm going on offense. What do I mean by that? I am now taking the awkwardness out. I'm approaching you. I'm going to walk by someone on the street, and they're going to walk by me, and I'm going to outwardly wave my hand and say hello. And then the next time I see them, they're gonna be like, that guy said hi to me. I'm gonna wave to them. I'm gonna go up to someone who's I could see being tentative, and I'm gonna say, hey, I'm Colin. We have a son, we have kids in the same classroom. We're gonna be at a lot of these events. How are you doing? Hey, what's going on? Is everybody good? Like, how's it going? I'm Colin. Talk to me anytime. That's really just being social, but I'm trying to do it with a purpose and an intent. Anyone can be social and say, raining out there today, huh? And no one gives a shit about. We can all see the weather. We all know it's coming. Yeah, I don't know why we all revert to that, but like if you just go up to someone, you're like, hey, how are you today? How's it going? Um, hey, I'm Colin from Smithwood Bloody Mary mix. You should really think about buying my mix for your next thing. Just kind of, but I'm making jokes, but like I'm just trying to go on offense more because I think you're right. People want to be asked questions. And I'm looking forward, like, because we're on this podcast. I'm like, oh, he's going to ask me stuff. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to spouting about these things that I talk about, and I'm being asked them. So,
Yeah, I'll before we vibe into more questions, I there was two thoughts that came to mind. One about our spouses to keep us, on the straight and narrow or whatever that means. I did an ayahuasca ceremony a few years ago.
mhm,
Anybody who knows that's plant medicine, you potentially hallucinate. This one I did not. It was very sober minded, but it was like an internal reflection. And this was before we had started trying for what is now our daughter. And I had felt a big resistance in my life. And during this reflection, I realized like, oh, I viewed my wife as a cage. She was a trap. Anytime I would like put one foot in, it was control. And then during this reflection, it opened my mind. It shifted. And I was like, well, instead, if we have the same values and are going the same direction, she's actually more like a channel, like a prism, like that's channeling my energy and is going to focus it in the direction I need to go, as opposed to being so scattered. It will feel restrictive, but it's actually just reducing waste and giving direction. So there is something to that, like, oh, taking this very powerful energy that we have as creators and people as humans, and
mhm,
having the right people in place to give us almost like the bumpers on a bowling lane,
right,
put us in the right direction. And that was the first thought that came to mind. So yes, spouses are the person we choose to go through life with is so important to help the best version of ourselves emerge from kind of the fray, right? As without it, and that's generally deemed as accountability, right? What was the other thing I was thinking about that you brought up there? it was just like to the offense thing. Yeah, most people are just profoundly lonely. Most people are willing to have a chat. Most
Yeah.
people want to talk. They're just like,
Mhm.
I'm bouncing around my day and nobody asks me jack shit about my life.
Mhm.
Would you like to join the conversation, my love? Speaking of which, like, I'm not feeling included, Daddy. Here, come sit up here so you can be seen, but we can't kick the keyboard, okay, baby girl? We had to set ourselves up in the least convenient of positions today. There we go. Okay, can you wave hi to our fans? Wave hi to Uncle Colin. Can you wave hi?
Hi,
We're still
Randy.
waving. Yeah. So that was very insightful, man. I love that you're actually going on offense because we
Mhm.
need more people that are willing to break down the walls that are not that are willing to just walk into that uncomfortable initial engagement to just
Mhm.
say, "Hey, I want to be a human with you. Let's be human." And then
Yeah.
being okay with wherever it goes. So, yeah, I love that. I loved your share right there. Those are the things that came to mind when you're saying that.
Yeah, and it started from a place of like I wanted to you have to if you were going to run a business and this is one thing I want to make very clear right now. Um my wife and I we own a business. It is a small business. It is something we do. It's something we're trying to build. It is not something we're going to retire on. It's like that is not the kind of business that we run where it's kind of like a day to day, like, hey, if we can't pay the bills with this. So, like, I do want to make clear about that. But I'm also willing to say that, like, someday I'd really like it to be that. And we'll continue to grow it as best we can. Um, Oh, it happened. Where was I going with this? Oh, so I was going on offense. It started because in business, like you have to be social. I think if you're not going to vouch for yourself, no one is. You have got to get out there. You've got to talk to your customers. I could tell you all day about how good our mix is, but that's not going to get into stores. That's not going to get into restaurants. I've got to seek those out. Luckily, we're building up a word of mouth. But like, if you don't pick up the phone and make that call, as uncomfortable as it is, then you're gonna stalemate. So it's like, so finally, I just decided all at once with business, with my life, I'm just going on offense. I'm no longer this is who I want to be anyways. I'm going to give someone a hug who I think needs a hug. I'm going to ask how a person's doing. I'm not perfect. I'll be standoffish sometimes, but like I'm just trying to break down the barriers of awkwardness. I'm trying to be more forward. I'm just putting myself out there more and more and more as much as I can because that believe it I it's I'm a little more introverted than sometimes I let on because I was telling my brother-in-law this too, and he's like, "You're pretty social. That's your thing that you're going on." I'm like, "I can see how you think that, but I'm social on my terms." And now I want to be social kind of all the time. Like I want to go up to the people that I see a lot and just say like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Colin. What's your name? How are you doing today?" and stuff like that. Um, and then the other thing, man, you said a word that makes me think of one of my favorite quotes, and it actually came from kind of from you in a little bit of a ways. Starting CrossFit when I was doing CrossFit, which I no longer do, but I credit it with me for getting my butt back in gear after a long layoff. I'm still happy I did it. I don't do it anymore for various reasons, and I don't have anything bad to say about it. I just don't do it. But the best advice I ever heard, and it came just from CrossFit, and it's life, man. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I mean, if you just take that through your whole life, man, so many more things are uncomfortable than they are comfortable, and you just better get with it. So that comfort level, it's just get comfortable being uncomfortable. I think that's just such a huge way to go about life.
I love that. You've brought up a lot about business and how it's impacted you. I'm curious, what is a belief that entrepreneurship has broken that you previously had before?
Well, that's an easy one. I'll do the best I can to explain it. So I was always someone who sought out security, routine, a job. I would have been petrified to start something on my own and be my own boss. Um, but then when you get laid off, and I am someone who lives reality on reality's terms. Business was low. It wasn't something I did. They just said, "You, Colin, I'm sorry." There was mass layoffs. Like I wasn't singled out or anything. You can get laid off in any moment. And in one fell swoop, you will lose a lot of things that you thought you had, including security. So people think like going out on your own is this huge risk. Well, it's like, well, at least you can, for the most part, kind of control everything. You're going to have successes and failures, but you are the one in control. And so that's been a huge mindset shift to me of why entrepreneurship is so important. And I still don't think I could have started this just like on my apartment, like by myself. It was something that, came together with my wife and I, but breaking down those thoughts of just stability is out of here. You think you're going to work one day, the next day you're not. And not only that is like you kind of think like, well, I've developed some good relationships here and sometimes they just don't text you back when you're asking for that letter of recommendation, and uh, that's a bad feeling for me. I i do believe too that no one's perfect, and I don't think anyone just went like, get out of here, not interested. I think that, hey, they're dealing with their own stuff right now and stuff like that. But you just think about all those things, like you go into work today, you've got stability, you've got your salary, you've got your routine down, and tomorrow it could all go away and you are at square zero. You're not even at square one. Um, and so that's been a big mindset shift for me. And it helps with reading books and stuff like that, like Tom Golisano, who started Paychecks, started the Golisano Children's Hospital and stuff like that. Now this network of hospitals own the Sabres for a time. And that's where I got that sort of thing of like the security. You think the job security is where it's at, but they could cut you at any point. And it's really you that's got to be in charge of what you do. So that's my answer for that.
That's really good. I want to go one next level on that. How has entrepreneurship impacted both your marriage? Like, how have you approached your relationship and your marriage differently, or how do you think it has? And also, how has it impacted or changed your way you approach fatherhood?
Luckily for us, because we have always we started together on it, Val and I. And so, and also too in our marriage, I don't let Val takes a lot of the lead and I follow her lead. Same in business. I am going to do my best because she is so incredibly smart. She's got an eye for all this. We've had, you're going to have arguments here and there, but like, hey, it came time to design the label. Which one do you like? I like that one. She liked this one. I like this one. Hey, what's our pricing for this? Well, I think it should be here. I think it should be here. So we've never been on opposite ends of the spectrum of anything really anyways. So, and like I said, we've turned our business into date days. So if anything, it's helped. It's made time for us. It's good. It brings on stress. There's no doubt about it and stuff like that. And but it, I don't think a lot of changes, honestly, as much as I'm looking back on it. If anything, it just brings us closer because we have one more thing to talk about that we talk about. And now when we go get a Bloody Mary out somewhere, we call it taste testing, and we have a little conversation, see how we're stacking up against the competition, and it brings a whole nother conversation out. So if anything, it's enhanced our marriage. I again, I can't speak to someone. It's not like I went to Val and I said I have this business idea for this. I'd like you to be a part of it. We just looked at each other. It was kismet. I mean, it was just it just was. It was something we were both passionate about. And it was something we've kind of always thought about anyways. I mean, so many people have always told us like, you got to bottle that. You got to bottle that. I'm like, how do you bottle what? You know? Um Fatherhood? It's been really, really cool because if nothing else, we may not make another dollar off this, but we own something. And I get to say to Owen and Levi, my son, like, "Hey, I'm doing this today for our business." Owen gets to go find someone and ask them. He goes, "How's it change fatherhood? How's this for you?" He's in UPK. He's a 4-year-old, and he asks his teacher. He says, "Would you like to come to our house for Bloody Mary sometime?" I don't think they're and so the teacher told us that, and I was like, "Let me provide you some context." But she's like, "No, he explained that it's your business." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, I think it's very cool for them to see ownership for us and what it is to own something, what it is to work at something. They're still young. I mean, they're 6 and 3, but, um, you just try to bring them along and say like, "Hey, this is something that's ours. Here's what you can work towards." So I definitely, if Smithwood Bloody Mary mix never happened, I would have just left for work on the day and said, "I'm going to work, gonna work hard. I'll be back," and they would have no clue what I do. But I mean, we're always doing stuff around the house for it. We're planning it, we're talking about it. So they see it. And that's something that they would never have exposure to, which I never thought about till just now. So that's cool.
Hey, hey, do you want to feel like you're included again? You do. I I think there's something. Hey, hi, gorgeous. Do you want crackers? Here's your milk. Here's your milk. Here you go. Here you go, beautiful. There you go. Dad life.
Yeah.
Good.
So are
Well,
you guys, walk me through you. Are you home together with her on a daily basis,
all the time.
all the time?
All the time. As I'm going to walk the mic away from everybody else getting screamed in their ears, too. Daddy's going to get you crackers.
I cannot believe you can pull this off right now. I am so impressed. I'm so
Thanks, bro.
impressed.
One of the things that's come from it is like, I'm going to mute it for just 2 seconds.
Cheers.
Still crying, people. Still crying. We need crackers, don't we? Sometimes you just need the right bait. Crackers, it is today. Rice crackers is the key.
Yeah. When we were
Oh,
flying, when you're flying, every advice is like, "What do you have for the kids?" Snacks. Nothing but
all of
snacks.
them.
The entire
All the
flight.
snacks.
Snacks, snacks. And there's very few pieces of advice that are like perfect, and that is one of them. Everyone knows it.
Only one.
Yeah.
The what's it like? Yeah, it's me and her all day
Yeah.
throughout the day. Um, and I wanted it that way. Now, don't get me wrong, be nice to have a little more childcare and this and that, but
Mhm.
a few years ago, before the whole Naked Sunday thing happened, or let me change that, when the Naked Sunday thing started happening, I was reflecting on like, what do I actually want my life to look like? What do I want to be as a dad? Well, one of those things was I want to be a very present father. And I love my dad, but he worked a lot and he was gone a lot. And there was a lot of things where probably I wish I was more exposed to, especially since he was in a leadership position. Still is. He's about to retire this year. But here you go, gorgeous. You have crackers. There you go. Okay, I'll get you the milk too. Okay, we need both. Got it. We need a beverage to go with the crunch.
Mhm.
Got that. Maybe someday she'll be able to have that Bloody Mary mix with her.
Children approved.
Children approved. There we go. Maybe a little spicy, but it's
Yep.
okay. Um, I want. There's things I wish I got to understand when I was younger. That damn, that would have been very helpful for me to know now, especially in leadership now and coaching people now. Call it what it is. I went on my life path, and I've the dark places I've been, the things I've had to hear for me to find the context and to be able to. It's helped me to help people now. That's been part of it. The other part of it, and this was difficult. I think I've talked about it some point on the podcast, but if I haven't, I'm going to talk about it now. I was terrified before she was born. I conceptually was like, well, I'm just going to do this and it's going to be whatever. And I had a client, a friend who was like, yeah, that's not going to work out that way. And she was right. Like she's going to be at nap time at this time and this is going to happen. I was like, nah, that went out the window. Um, and I was freaking out. Like, how am I going to run a coaching business? It's very personal while being full-time dad at the same time. And there was just this moment of just like, fuck it. She's going to be around. Because what I learned also with some people that was part of the certain clients I had at the time was like it actually took the stress out of the room. When you get into talking about leadership and the pressure that people are already under in their life, now and to address the other things that you really need to do, which is all mindset and internal beliefs and self-worth stuff. It is always that. Like those are the things that hold people back from growing their business, from growing the success they want, from having the marriages they want. It's always that. It's a self-worth thing. That can get real tough in that personal development space, quote unquote, whatever you want to call that. And by me being okay with like, here's my kid and she just screamed a little bit, or I just had to change a diaper, and you guys already, most of them are parents already. They're like, yeah, we've been there, and they can
Mhm.
just laugh at me, be like, how did I say it? One of my friends and former clients, she was like, yeah, you have this perception that you have it all buttoned up. Like you look this certain way on social media, and like for that to be completely disarmed for them. Like, oh, he's also a human being going through human experiences and evolving in these things as well. It made it more of a humanizing experience. So it actually brought things more to light, which was, let me tell you right now, very, very difficult for me to accept in a way that I didn't think was going to be very hard to accept because it's like, well, whatever. I'm just going to do whatever I want. Well, no, you also want to put on a professional service and things of that nature. But specifically the people I work with, I want them to see like, yeah, you can just do the things.
Mhm.
Like you just said before, is there a thing you love to do? Yeah, this. And I want Remy to see that these types of conversations are not only possible, but they should be normal. Why are we not talking about what we believe in? Why are we not talking about things that challenge our internal like perceptions? Why are we not able to have conversations with people that we might disagree with and still find love and harmony within each other? There's literally no practice of that anywhere, at least that I'm aware of, that's done intentionally. And if that's something I care about, I need to model that for her because there's no greater thing. Like I just posted earlier today a video of her practicing quote unquote adjustments on my wife after because whenever I go to the chiropractor that day,
Mhm.
she comes home and she does that on Lexi while Lexi's rolling around on the floor. She like does little pressure things and it's hysterical, but it's this big reminder. Oh, she's paying attention.
Oh
I
yeah.
might I might not think she's paying attention, but oh boy,
Mhm.
she's paying attention and she is
Yep.
going to mimic that. And I want her to mimic these types of things. I want her to at least not have to break the belief that this is possible or that it can be normal. So that's been, I mean, again, it comes with its challenges. I'm still a dad who's changing butts and navigating other things like that, and still trying to be a good husband at the same time and take care of people. So
Yep.
hopefully that properly answered the question.
Yeah, no. And I've lived a very similar life to that. I mean, like we're Smithwood Bloody Mary mix. My what I call my full-time job is I was home with the kids. Val was working, I got laid off and I wanted to work. There was no shortage of job opportunities. There was no shortage of qualifications, but we had built in a hybrid schedule that we were very used to that allowed us to see both of our kids a few times a week in spaces that we wouldn't have to give up and completely, and we were not going to give that up. And we looked at it, and you look at the numbers, and this is something like you and Manny kind of harped on a little bit with like childcare. And I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of it, but we're like, there's a part of me that's just working to pay for childcare. Like, what are we doing? So I stayed home, and I've been home. They were 3 and 6 months. I think, yeah, 3 and 6 months. Um, and I would do our business stuff on the weekends when my mom had off and stuff like that. I would find time in the evenings, but I've been home. It's a wild ride. It has its ups, it's got its downs. Um, I wouldn't change a single thing for it at all because nothing beats the feeling of knowing my child's taking a nap in their bed. They're with their father, and the big hurdle that I think in a lot of things is like, child is sick. Who's staying home? Who's calling into work? Guess who's just home? And we don't even have to think twice about it. Hey, Colin, this meeting is going to run late. Guess who's already home? No worries about it. So I'm such a proponent of someone staying at home. It's so important, and especially when like you say, you're aligning it with your values. That's all the more. I mean, it's not apples to apples, but like you have Remy sit on your coaching sessions. I'd bring the boys with me to make a delivery of Bloody Marys. We put our boys in the social media picture. They're a part of this. There's no two ways about it. They're a part of this. We want to make them a part of this. And if they got to come with me to Fairport and drive in the car, and then we'll make a delivery, and then I'm gonna buy candy for them as their payment. So it's like, um, it's a lot of fun. It's much like a hobby. Make your lifestyle your business as well. Not just your hobby, but if you feel that in these coaching sessions, look, my daughter's just going to be on this podcast. She's going to be on this coaching session. That just is. That will be accepted. Like we talked about kind of at the beginning of this podcast. If you're doing it with authenticity, if you're doing it with an intention, if you explain it, I'm sure that people have sat across from you and they're like, what is this baby just doing here? Like, it'd be weird if you just didn't say anything. Like, hey, Ron, yeah, how's it going today? But because I'm sure that you are who you are, you're intentional about it. I think that's a great thing, and you're not kidding either. They are looking at our behaviors more than we will ever know. Our movements, our emotions, our words. Luckily, they don't repeat a lot of my words. Thankfully, that's something I got to work on. But well, that's a story for another day. But they see it, and you'll kind of look at him, and you're just like, where did he get that? Um, we watch football on Sundays, and my 3-year-old throws the ball around, and now when he throws it, he lays down because he just got hurt, and so oh, oh, got sad. And I'm just like, you saw Josh Allen take a sack, and now you can't get up because you threw your football, and it's every play, timeout, 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 and I'm just like, man, you kids are paying attention, man. They're paying attention to everything. So the more kind of positive aspects of life we can show them and lead to them, the better. Easier said than done. I mean, boy, howdy, are there easier said than done too,
Yeah.
because you're not going to get it. It's not perfect, but you do the best you can.
Sure you feel the same way. Like when I had the gym, we had a lot of the specific times where it's a lot of the stay-at-home moms would come in.
Hmm.
I'm like, I thank my lucky stars that I was not a raging asshole because, like, if I was, the karmic debt I would be paying right now, like, it's
Yeah.
already a thing. And I have a lot of empathy for my mom too. My mom was a stay-at-home mom for the 4 of
Mhm.
us. Like, damn. I got 1 and I feel outnumbered. Like, holy smokes.
That's
So a
wild,
lot
yeah.
of empathy. But I think what, you're showing right now and you're doing a great job is like doesn't mean you can't integrate other parts of your life. You don't have to just be all or nothing. You just
Mhm.
have to give yourself permission and then communicate it. And I mean, there's nothing more real than like, yo, no, this is a family business. How do you know? There's his kids. There they are. Oh, no, this is real. This is
Mhm.
not just some corporate shill that everybody does. Like everybody can, as you said before, you can spot a fake from a mile away.
Yeah.
This Be yourself. If you believe in being a family, like this is us. This is the whole kit and caboodle showing up right now. If you say you care about your family and it's one of your number one values, how, are they showing up on your calendar? How are you doing it together? And you just have to be creative enough to figure that out in a way that works for everybody. Here, drink your milk, sweetie. You want more crackers? Can you say please? Okay, I'll get you more crackers. Um, you just have to be intentional. And I think people make it so all or nothing. And that's difficult. As somebody who struggled with that before, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Daddy's gonna get you more crackers. Just sit right there, sweetie. Um, no, I love what you're doing, man. And I think we're in a day and age where like there's a lot more men that are wanting to stay home and be
Yeah.
more present with their kids. And I
Mhm.
think there's something really powerful right now because there's definitely been like a deep distrust with men. And this is a great way to reestablish like, oh, this is a healthy masculine influence who's here all the time. Like, oh, present. Interesting.
Yep.
That's going to be different. And on the flip side, like you get a lot of empathy as a man to be like, oh, this is kind of traditionally what's it's been feeling like for other people and vice versa. I mean,
Mhm.
corporate world, like I talked to a lot of women, they're like, oh, that's what the corporate world feels like, that this has been the similar way. Like, oh, there's things to this that we need to see what the other side felt like. And there's no more powerful kind of medicine than walking a mile in somebody else's shoes. Short of like I'm not birthing a child out of anything on my
Right.
body, but like I can see what it feels like to take care of a kid, and I can deal with the guilt of feeling like, oh my god, I want a day off sometimes, and like, what do those things mean? Like it's difficult, like making time for yourself amidst the desire to feel like you're always like present for the family and saying like, well, what does it mean
Mhm.
to be me and all that. So yeah, I loved your reflections there, man. I don't know if you had more thought there. You're leaned in there, so I'm like, he's
I
got something.
Man, I've got a million, I've got a million thoughts, but like also to, I just, unfortunately, no two situations are the same. And I think too, some people are very like, I have a passion in life and it's to work. That's fine. That is fine. That is fine. You can have it all. You got to make your adjustments. Don't just stop doing or being the person that you are, but take a look at kind of the other ways to go about it. And also, to, like, here's the other thing too. It's like Owen's in first grade, and next year in the fall, my 3-year-old will be going to like 9 to 2 UPK. So I'm now not a stay-at-home parent anymore. Like my kids are gonna be in school. The window is this big. It's this big from 0 to 5. And so you only have this kind of real small time. You will be able to go back to work. You'll be able to get back into things. And I think there's just a lot of fear, but it's totally normal and it's totally, there's unconfounded fear, or what is it? Confounded. There's fears that are rational and fears that are irrational. There is nothing irrational about the fear when you have a child and you're going to try to figure out your life. There is not That is a totally normal feeling. You should be a little scared as a human's about to enter your life. But to your point too, like you're doing with Remy, someone told us, and it kind of it helped us. It's like, don't forget you're bringing a child into your world. They can become what you already do. Like you don't have to give up everything. Yes, you have to love and care for your child, of course. Like, you're gonna do that anyways. But you don't have to stop having a Wednesday night out, or you don't have to, well, we can't do that right now because we have the baby. It's like, why don't you really break it down? I bet you can figure out a way to do something. It might not be the idea that you had in your head, but like, you can really kind of, you'll get there. You'll get there. And you'll feel better about yourself along the way, I think. I don't know. I feel a little preachy about that, but I think I'm saying something that's
No, you're right. I
somewhere
think
in there. There's some kernels, I think.
it's difficult because it's very easy to lose yourself. And I remember like I had like a probably around 9 months into her being alive. I was feeling pretty fucking fried.
Oh yeah.
And my mom came over, she came to visit one day. She's like, "Yeah, you're kind of in like that window where the burnout's like, oh." And I realized like I'd stopped doing the things that I'd enjoyed. And one of them I had taken basically 9, 10 months off from doing the podcast. Like, oh yeah, I started doing the podcast thing because I liked doing it.
Right.
Why am I stopping? Well, because I think it has to be this thing and it has to be professional that way. I'm like, or fuck that. I'm just gonna do it again because I like it. And if
Mhm.
she's there, cool. And if she's not, cool. But I'm
Right.
gonna do it because it's fun because I like talking to people.
Mhm.
Oh, do that thing. Oh, crazy. And there's a big permission thing that I think you just brought up there that it's all or nothing. It has to be all this or all that, or say, how do I still integrate parts of me? Maybe some parts do need to go away. Like if you're clubbing all the time and doing crazy
Right. Yeah.
hard drugs, like
Yeah.
probably something you want to give up as a
I
parent
used
because you
to
want to be a real,
I used to
you know?
pound Jack Daniels on Tuesday. I can't do it anymore, man. It's fucking me up. And that what's like, well, yeah, okay, maybe that's not, what you should work in.
Yeah, but, like, that doesn't mean you don't have to have a social life, like,
No, yeah.
my buddies that we get together on Wednesday night, and I can't wait till you eventually come out here for a boys' night, like, we have a boys' night, and our wives love it that we're getting out of the damn house,
Mhm.
and especially since, like, it's an intentional night, we do a question of the week, it's deep, we go around the room, everybody answers the question, we're sitting over, all you can eat sushi, it's just a couple hours just to, like, dudes be bros, like, it's like church for me,
Yeah.
and if you don't have to give it up. You just have to make a plan and be intentional and be clear,
Mhm.
like, and maybe you're not going for like 3-day excursions right away, but
Right.
maybe if you just talk with your spouse or you talk with friends or you talk with whomever, it's like, how do we make it work so that you can still get the thing that you do need at a minimum and not completely lose yourself in the process because it's easy and it's sometimes an easy excuse because the kid's screaming, you're tired, you're whatever, like and I think maybe my plea for all this is for people to also ask for help. That is something I definitely struggle with, and perhaps maybe if
Mhm.
you can elaborate on some of that. Like asking for help i- during this time is like it's not a bad thing. And it
Mhm.
sounds weird. Like, of course, just ask for help. Like, no, you feel like you have to shoulder all the burdens and be strong and be tough and just
Mhm.
deal with them. It's like so many people would love to just step in and support you if you give them the opportunity. They can't read your damn mind.
Right. No.
So
Yeah. It's one of the things I still struggle with to this day. I always will struggle with it, but you have to communicate. You have to state your feelings. You have to talk about what might be on your mind. 9 times out of 10, someone's probably gonna look at you as like, "Was that all you needed?" Or like, "We why didn't you just ask?" Or and like you make things so much bigger in your mind than they actually are in real life. And I'm gonna play this clip of myself in a few months, be like, "Remember when you told a bunch of people you should do this? Why don't you just do this yourself?" It's so much easier said than done, but, like, I can't tell you how many times I've just, like, I'll have a conversation with Val, and she's just like, that you always feel better when you tell me these things. Just feel better." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that did feel better." So, you keep mentioning this phrase kinda all or nothing, and it's kinda you're almost leading me to pasture here. Um we just things are so much more simple than they have to be, and you do not have to be all or nothing. I for the longest time was someone who was like, you read these things on the social media, it's like, you should meditate, you should meditate. How do I meditate? How do I meditate? It kind of doesn't matter. You have to figure out what you have to do the thing. One of my favorite things, I read this book. It's called, I think it's called "Won't You Be My Neighbor?" Or I can't believe I'm messing this up, but it's about Mister Rogers. And so it's a two-part. It's an article about Mister Rogers that the guy who wrote the movie, that's it became the Mister Rogers movie, but then it also incorporates like Mister Rogers' book. And the person writes about Mister Rogers meets this guy. He's got some mental deficiencies, for lack of a better word. I think he's blind, maybe. And Mister Rogers says, "Won't you pray with me?" And the man says, "I I want to pray. I really want to pray, but I always use too many words and I forget." And Mister Rogers says, "All you have to do is say, 'Thank you, God.'" Now, I'm not here to speak on religion, spirituality in this moment. I'm not preaching. But if you just break that down, that is so simple. That's 3 words. You don't have to go into a corner. You don't need to light a candle. You don't need to put noise canceling headphones on. You have to carve out a little bit of space and do this thing. And it's just so simple. And you kept saying all or nothing. And I was like, yes, it doesn't, you don't have to put on the show to do these small acts, these things to live your life. And that's it's just something I wanted to share. I feel really strongly about kind of how simple things really have to be. We make so many kind of mountains out of molehills. That's what I keep saying. Do you have any mountains or molehills story that is anything triggering you? I don't know, but it just you're right. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Things are so much more simpler. We talked about being social, reaching out. I think some people think that they need to pick up the phone and have something to talk about for 5 minutes. You could send a text and say, I was thinking about you. How are you?" And I think like we all think like maybe that's awkward. Like, oh, well, but they would think it's weird that I'm thinking about them. Or it's like you got your phone in your hand anyways. Just send the text. We're all holding this little device. Like, what are we backtracking in our minds for? So brought a couple of those things out of me that I kind of wanted to share because I just agree. I agree so much about that. Doesn't have to be all
About
or
the
nothing.
house down there, dude. You bringing the fire today?
Trying, man. I got my red Smithwood shirt on. I thought so much about this because I was like, does red hurt the camera? Should I go with the white one? Should I go with the black? But I was like, no, I'm gonna make a statement today. I do feel bad. I didn't get my hair cut, so I don't know how many people are gonna sit and
You look damn good, bro.
I
You
feel
look
good.
damn
I
good. Plus,
actually, yeah,
looks good with the red couch for my side, so
it
it
does.
goes
Yeah,
well.
it does. It does.
Speaking of speaking of bringing the fire, you sent me
Yes.
a playlist. Let's get into this. Let's get into the playlist because
Let's
I've
get
been
into it.
I've been like chomping at the bit. I'm like, where's he going with this thing?
Okay. I
Tell us
can't
about it.
remember. I know I sent you a playlist. Did I tell you where it came from or anything like that? Did I give you any?
I remember some of those songs. You played a lot
Okay.
of those freshman
Okay.
year.
So I was thinking about it. We've met in August of 2005. We're going on 20 years. And I'm like looking around my house and I'm like, what do I still have from 20 years ago that I still have and use? So the first thing I brought props because, like you said, I was bringing the heat. My parents bought me this Columbia winter jacket that saved my life in Cortland, New York, and I still wear it, and it's still the warmest thing. So if anyone has, if you're a parent and you have a college freshman coming down the pike, buy them the warmest winter jacket that you possibly can, unless they're going to like Southern California. But if they're going to Cortland, buy the warmest. Spend as much as it costs, as much as it costs. But I was thinking about it. The other thing I have from 20 years ago, this is a compact disc. For those watching who don't know what this is, this is a burned CD from iTunes. Not even iTunes, MyTunes. Remember MyTunes? How we had in the dorm where we could like
Yes.
poach other songs from other people?
Yes.
So I thought to myself, because I wanted, obviously you and I don't need a hook for a podcast, but I'm like, I want to talk about 20 years, how it what's the same from 20 years, how things have changed in 20 years. And so I sent you this playlist. That playlist is this CD that I burned off my computer, my desktop computer, that I could put into my stereo above my speakers 20 years ago. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of run through song by song. Um, so a couple of the songs, they're not gonna, you know how like in the 40-year-old virgin, the guy gives Andy the large box of videotapes and he pulls one out. He says, "Everybody loves Raymond." Well, that's just a good song. Or like that's just a good show. Some of these are just gonna be like, that's just a good song. I don't really have a thing. So the first song is Run by Collective Soul. That's just a good song. That's just a banger. Good. Second song, and maybe we can send this playlist with we can put it in like the notes for the episode if anyone wants to, but it's The Freshman by the Verb Pipe. We were freshmen 20 years ago, right? Also, for whatever reason, the version that is on this CD is not the same that like is played now. Something happened where they edited it, and it's now this new version comes on the radio, and it drives me nuts, and I can't stand it. But really good song. Next one, Gold Digger by Kanye West featuring Jamie Foxx. I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds about what's changed about Kanye West over the last 20 years, but a lot's changed. 20 years ago, he just kind of came out with music and it was really good. I think this is like the best rap song. It's on the short list for me, like top 5 ever. Just a banger. It's just awesome. I'll let you if you've not heard of Kanye West, you can research him on the internet. I'm not here to. We're not here. We're not going to talk about anything that he does. Next song is a good song because it encompasses how things change in 20 years. Well, I guess everything encompasses it, but Numb Encore by Jay-Z and Linkin Park. 20 years ago, I liked this song. 10 years ago, I didn't listen to it at all. 15 years ago, I heard it again and I went, that's pretty cool. And in the past 3 or 4 years, if this song comes on, I am ready to get into the UFC cage with Brock Lesnar. I'm not going to say I'm going to win, but like I am ready to roll. And so it's a great song, but it's just a matter of like, I think your taste buds change every 7 years. Your listening ears change every 7 years. So don't ever give up on a song. Never in your life. Don't ever give up on it. You never know when you'll hear it again and just be like, that song's awesome. Awesome. The Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby and the Range. Again, that's just a good song. For those of you who might not know it, it's the sample that's used in Tupac's Changes. So I would bet you've heard this song before in some way, shape, or form, whether you realize it or not. The next one, again, by Janet Jackson. I've become a real fan, Caleb, of not sad songs, not happy songs. My favorite genre of song is a devastating song. One that the words may be happy, they may be sad, but the song reaches into your soul and kind of shows it to you, kind of holds it up. And for me, again, by Janet Jackson is one of these songs. Maps by the AAS. That drummer's not drumming. He's punching you in the chest and he's going to rip your heart out because he wants you to feel emotionally devastated. Like that's my version of devastating. So this is just a great devastating song. And, you asked me like, who is Colin Smith? I don't usually include this in my bio because it just happened, but I was playing the CD in my car the other day and I swear on everything. The song was playing and a rainbow came out. And I got emotional, and I don't know why. So there you go. Husband of one, father of two, cries at rainbows and Janet Jackson songs, and that's me in a nutshell. Um, so the next
Can
song,
I interject for a little bit?
yeah, of course, anytime, yes, yeah, stop me. I'm on a roll, but
How much did you look at those lyrics and think about your evolution of life? I've been thinking about this the whole time because I started listening to the lyrics And there's a saying I heard while long ago, either that or it was just something that came out of my brain and that was like an amalgamation of other stuff. I don't think it's my own thing, but it's you feel the rhythm when you're happy, you understand the lyrics when you're sad. And
I've heard
maybe you've heard,
something along those lines. Yeah.
and to me, that brings up like a song can mean a lot of different things at a lot of different points in your life. It's kind of what you just said there.
Yeah.
Not kind of, it was exactly what you just said. And there's just things as you accumulate life experiences. I'm reading like I'm opening I just opened up the lyrics for the Janet Jackson song. I heard from a friend today, and she said you were in town. Suddenly, the memories came back to me in my mind. How can I be strong? I've asked myself time and time. I've said that I'll never fall. Like, wow, but like that I'll never fall in love with you yet. But like instead of it thinking as intimacy and sex and like a
Yeah.
intimate relationship, like I'm talking about like falling in love with my friend again right now. Like this
Sure.
is a new
Yeah.
conversation between the two of us.
Hmm.
There's that fear every time maybe you talk to somebody again, like when's the last time we talked? Is it going to be different? Is it going to be changed?
Yeah.
Like that's what because I was listening to the playlist this week, so it's been coming up, and that was what I was curious because you were going, and I don't know if you're waiting for me to say something, but that's what's been coming up, and I'm waiting for you to get to the next one. And there's a couple other ones on here, so like keep going. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So it's so funny you mentioned the like the lyrics and the rhythm. There's remember Third Eye Blind? Um
Love them.
yeah. What the heck's the song? Oh, Semi Charmed Life.
Hmm.
That is an upbeat jamming song, rocking on, man, let's party, good stuff. If you read the lyrics to that song is devastating. And on a level, do you know anything about like the lyrics?
I've
It,
heard. I can't put it all together right
it,
now, but go ahead.
it kind of essentially is like someone on drugs and the real sort of collapse you go through when you're on drugs. And I'm looking at the lyrics, I'm like, oh my God. Like this song is awful. Like so it's so funny, like the rhythm and the lyrics and sad and stuff like that. But I love that you mentioned that about Again by Janet Jackson. I'm going to interject for one thing too. Lest anyone think that I have a bad marriage or people question my marriage, Val and I love breakup songs. We love them. Like we will love to seek out a good breakup song. So it's just on our thing. So like if anyone's like, God, that song, you really like that song. Like it doesn't matter. I love it, but it's a
I
breakup
want to lean.
song.
I'm going to lean in on my opinion on that.
Okay.
I was saying, in the end, go back to the beginning.
Okay.
And if you think about, I think about death every single day of my life, and not in a morose way. Like most people, are like, oh, that's really
I'm
dark. Like
probably
think
not
about
far
death.
behind, if not every day, every other day.
I think about it with depth and hope, and more like, what is the impression I'm leaving? And more importantly, if I say that these are the people that I want to be on my deathbed with, am I giving them the attention that they deserve, that I say I want? Oh, in the end, go back to the beginning. Well, at the end of my life, this is what I want. Well, the beginning is right now. So I think there's something deeply profound about the two of you love breakup songs because it
Interesting.
pulls you into the ache. Because when you're falling in love, there's also a weird ache. There's a weird longing of like, do they love me? Do they not love me? Like, is this real? Am I scared? Are we going to take this next step together? It's, we're also leaving and killing off an old version of ourselves to become the union. And that's the same ache is there. It is
Yeah.
a breakup song with you as the individual, and that's profound. So that was cool, and it's in a different lens.
Yeah. I never thought, I mean, it's something that I similarly like. Love and hate are both very strong emotions. They're not that far apart. Like they are, but they're not because you kind of do them so passionately and they're really kind of right there. It's very interesting what you said about leaving like yourself behind a little bit. That's very interesting. But you're right. You kind of when you're because it's all new. And so you're feeling all these feelings kind of like for the first obviously. So that's interesting. But yeah, I at the end of the beginning. Yeah, the beginning is the end. Yeah. I'm right there with you, man. That's 100%. The
Keep
next
rolling
2
on.
songs. What's that?
Keep rolling on. I'm getting more crackers for the little one because
Alright.
apparently this is the drug of choice right now.
So the next 2 songs are a real strong example of just and so the band is the format, and the songs are the first single and On Your Porch. They're 2 really good songs. The first single is an upbeat song. The second, On Your Porch, talk about devastating. It is one of the most devastating songs you'll ever hear. For those of you who don't know the band, the format though, Nate Roos is the lead singer of the format. He then joined a band called Fun, and unless you were living on a rock in the last 10 years, you know the song Some Nights I Stay Up Cashing In. I can't believe I just sang that, but it was on commercials. It was everywhere. So you know the band Fun. Um, I don't know the struggles of the format and Fun. I don't know if they had breakup. I don't know anything about the band other than they existed, so I'm not going to speak to them. The format is back together, and they've got a record out. They played on the Tonight Show recently with Jimmy Fallon. Do you know anything about this? Do you know who was on that show when they were the musical guest? She's a new artist. Taylor Swift was on the Tonight Show. She was the only guest. Like she did like the whole show and then the format played. Now this is important to me because the little I know about celebrity, when you're that famous, you kind of call all the shots. I am going to guess Taylor Swift signed her name right across the dotted line to say the format is allowed to play after me. If she had a problem with the format, they wouldn't have seen the light of day, I'm sure. If you really believe in something and you just stick with it, you can you can be on the Tonight Show. This was a little band that I heard on a little radio station called 90.5 FM WBER. I like the songs. They come and go. They were on the Tonight Show with the biggest star in the world. Whatever you think about Taylor Swift, she's the biggest star in the world. You can't argue that. I won't hear it. You might not like her. That's whatever. It's not your cup of tea. I just think that that's so wild. This little band of 20 years ago that had this little song that I liked, 2 little songs, and they're playing a really important show with a really famous person on it that signed off on that. It just kind of blows my mind. And then some of the best words I've ever heard. We've talked a lot, about business, entrepreneurship today. Um, the song has the lyrics like the son is talking to his father, and the father's just said, these last 3 years, I know they've been hard, but um, what's left to lose? You've done enough. If you fail, well, then you fail, but not to us. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it. You're whatever your definition of failure is, like you're not gonna fail. You just have to do it. And if you fail, so what? You're right back to the beginning. But if you keep going, regardless of failure, you end up on the Tonight Show. I don't know if that's your goal or not, but like, I don't know. I'm
I want to piggyback into that though.
Yeah, sure.
Also, one of the big lyrics in there is
Mhm.
"You know me." Now,
Yeah,
I played around a little interesting thing lately. Is think about if every song was actually just being sung to God, or like God singing to you, just
yeah,
out of fun. Try it. And you just told me about a father and son. Like, you know me, and the rest of the thing
yeah,
goes. But
yeah.
like, and about failure. But even if you fail, I will still love you. I will still know you.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
there's something. Again,
Yep.
whatever.
Mhm.
Also,
Yeah.
side note, I only know this because I couldn't log into Spotify creators the other day to actually upload the thing. They did the Spotify Wrapped for creators, and the number one listen to artist of all my listeners apparently is Taylor Swift. So everybody's gonna be happy about this to know to know that little shout
Good.
out.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that Spotify kind of did that. Like they made kind of like they customize your audience there. That's neat. That's cool.
Well, they just it's just like Spotify's Wrapped for yourself. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, also like this is of your audience. This is what you should know. Like these, I mean, it's the same thing. Like who
Yeah,
listened? What was your most listened to thing of the year? I literally could, I'd pay almost zero attention to that stuff. But
that's interesting. I mean,
it was kind of
she's the
cool.
biggest thing in the world. You can't argue with it, you know?
100%.
It's,
100%.
um so yeah, these next few songs, "Bruised" by the Bends, great song. "Tiny Dancer" by Ben Folds, very inconsequential to this conversation, but just good songs. "Save Us" by Cartel, Caleb Nelson, thank you very much. But I'm bothered by that you like this 2025 version. The version I have on said compact disc does not match up with this, and I want this, but it's scratched, and I can't hear it so well, so I'm devastated. Speaking of devastated, I'm devastated that I can't hear these versions. But also, like, in 20 years, like, this is the Cartel's a really small band. They're big enough to at least re-release songs like that. People still like them. I think that's so cool. Um,
It's a great song.
it's a great song. It's a great song. The next song is "Scenario" by A Tribe Called Quest. Do you know why you know this song?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring back. You could describe what the memory is for you, but um, 20 years ago, I recorded a show called Entourage from HBO onto a video cassette, and I had the first 4 episodes of season 2, and this song was heavily featured in the first episode. It's great. Um, this is
Coming
actually gonna,
back.
so
Coming back.
this is gonna dovetail kind of nicely. Actually, it's gonna put a little bow on what we talked about. I played this VHS every night to go to sleep to. I never got sick of it. Poor Caleb. Eventually, you just said like, "Can we not do this tonight?" And I just remember being like, "Oh yeah, oh I didn't know that's how you felt." So like, Caleb, what did we just talk about? Just say what's on your mind. Like, just say it. I was like, I watch this a lot, don't I? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Just so
What's great though is now I watch Big Bang Theory almost every night, and I recite the lines,
oh
all
yeah,
12
we
seasons. I know shit, and it's
it's
like,
it's
I look
security
back at it with,
blankets, man. It's
and I
security blanket.
rewatched all of Entourage maybe a few months ago, and I
Yeah.
was like, I thought about you the entire time. I was like,
Well,
this is great.
I think you liked the show. I just happened to
Yeah.
watch it every night for the first 52 nights we were together in college. So,
And it
can
was
we
the same 3
right?
or 4 episodes too, so
The
it wasn't
same
like,
4, yeah, I didn't even have the whole season. I had the same 4, and
I mean, we
I think you turned off my TV most nights too, like if I forgot my sleep timer or something like that. So,
yeah, yeah,
lesson as always, just state your piece, be polite, just and it's fine, it's fine.
it's all
And then the
good.
last song is "Be Yourself" by Audio Slave, and I just really good lyrics. Unfortunately, Chris Cornell no longer with us, and which makes songs like this hit even harder to know that it came from maybe not a great place. But it's a good song. So
I
I
love
just
it.
wanted to take a minute to dive through it. I thought that was a really cool way to talk about the last 20 years in a weird way.
I love it too because I think a lot about predestination all the
Mhm.
time. And we were listening to all of these songs all the time, all the way through because you were a man. Like started listening, like felt like I was right back in college.
Mhm.
But think about the words that we were drowning out in our head all the time, whether it was in the forefront of the background of our mind.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with being myself my entire life. And that was the signature piece on the last thing. If nothing else, and my little tagline for Naked Sunday is free yourself. And in
Mhm.
fact, that's the secondary or the subtitle of the book I'm writing of free yourself.
Mhm.
And be yourself is such a profound thing for that to be like the finale on that playlist
Mhm.
to me really resonates. And if you, I'd be curious, I might actually do it. Just like take all the lyrics, like of every song in that playlist and plug it in and be, I play with ChatGPT for these kind of fun things.
Mm.
Like, what's the underlying theme and what's the transition through all the songs? What is the story behind
Mm.
all of these things? Because when it's like, hey, I put together a mixtape for you. Well, people think about putting a mixtape together for very intentional reasons. Like
Oh yeah.
this song meant this and this song meant this. But sometimes I don't think we think about What if we set the tone for the future? It's like manifesting. You
Mhm,
are literally repeating and drowning and brainwashing yourself with this soundtrack for the future. And what if
mhm.
it set in motion all the things? I don't know. That's just a little bit of the crazy side of me, but I'd be curious to even look at that because when I started listening to those songs, it hit me in a different way. And I started looking back, like, huh, this seems like it's been following me all along.
Mhm.
Interesting. So that was an interesting gift that you gave to me for that, and
Yeah,
I think cool.
well, and, 20 years ago, I would have had to, like, mail you this CD or something or wait to give it to you, and in 2 seconds, I whipped it up and I texted it to you, which I don't do you think I don't did we even have text? Like, we kinda did, but, like, I don't think we texted that much, really
We
at
did not
all,
talk much at all.
not 20 years ago, we did not like we do now. That's but
It it took brute force requirement from work to get me to start texting. I was like a late adopter on that one, and
See, I was
yeah,
early because I was like, "Oh, I can just send a message and walk away, and then really think about my response and walk away." I love text. It's my favorite. Uh,
yeah. I
yeah,
rather just nowadays I'm just like pick up the phone. I start
yeah,
seeing the dots,
mhm,
FaceTime immediately. Like my thumbs are tired. Like let's go. Let's just have a chat.
mhm,
I'm that right to it nowadays. But
mhm, yeah.
yeah, dude, I'm so fired up right now. I think it's perfect timing for the three fun questions. You
Okay,
ready?
let's do it. Yep.
You already know question. You know the questions because you
I think I know
listen.
2 of them. Yeah, I think I know 2 of them. One of them I'm blanking on, but ask
It's
away.
okay. Let's roll.
Okay,
Question
so
number one.
yes.
What sports and or creative activities did you play or participate in when you were younger?
Mhm.
And number 1A is what was your style of play? How did you play?
Uh, football, 8 through 18. Uh, basketball, elementary school, played early middle school, and then, like, early high school. I played baseball, like, a few times, and that's, like, one of my big regrets in life, actually, is that I didn't play baseball more. I genuinely loved it every time I played, but I didn't play it enough. And then any sport that was outside. Um, I wrestled once, um, took second place in a tournament, and then I lost in the first round of the next tournament, and then it coincided with basketball, and I was like, that's a lot of work for that." But what was my style of play? Aggressive, forward. Uh, well, I guess it's a little bit of an oxymoron, but I was a very defensive style player. But if you know sports, defensive and aggressive is the same thing. It can be the same thing. Um, I was uh, I was fine. I started on teams. I was a captain on teams. I never made like an all county or anything like that. So I think that's a nice way to say what kind of player I was. Good enough to do this, not that good. Um,
Mm.
but I was a leadership style player. I was very rah rah, very. It's so funny. I hate formal leadership. I hate being a manager. But I loved like, my favorite year of football ever, I was a junior on the varsity team, and I wasn't a captain, and I was free. I could be myself. I don't have any problem going up to the best guy on the team and getting in his face, but never tearing anyone down, always building someone up. I once I get the C on me, it's like a curse, I feel. I'm just like, "I don't wanna have to do this." But without the captain, I'll be the captain all day long. I always tell people this. Everyone wants to be Michael Jordan. I want to be Scottie Pippen, man. I want to ride shotgun and fill in the blanks all the way around the court and pass the ball and defend and be 6'8". I'm not 6'8". So that's the kind of style. That's the kind of athlete I was.
I love everything about what you just said. And as you know, we went to Cortland together,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I had to take a class on play. And don't make yourself puke, kid. She's learned the trick of like shoving my hand in my face makes me puke.
Yep.
Awesome. Having to deter that. Anyway, with play, play teaches you a lot about your style of problem solving and how you go
Mm,
about interacting with things. So number one, team sports. Go figure. You are now running a business as a
mm,
family. It's a team. And you said it before about with your wife. She's a great leader and you love following the thing and you know how to like fit into the whole thing.
I never thought
So
of it
the
that way,
interesting
but yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah.
you are literally living in alignment with your style that is best suited to you. You're willing to be intense. You're willing to assert aggressive defense is like assertive, like as you just said, the way you re-described defense, if you really understand sports, like I think of like an aggressive player in basketball on
Mhm.
defense is like you have to go for the ball. You have
Yeah,
to
right.
be up
Yep.
in somebody's place. You have to
Mhm.
be physical. You have to, and we talked about this when you're talking about introducing yourself and being on offense. Well, it's about your style of like if you are on offense on defense in a weird paradoxical standard there, you are playing a much more intelligent long-term game. Like you don't have to undo a lot of stuff on the back end because you are intentional about how you're setting yourself up for success in business. And that most people don't think about. They don't think people only think about selling, they don't think about retaining people. It's about the relationship. And if you're going on offense, on defense, that is the defense. Like I can retain, I can keep the relationship alive. Now I
Mhm.
can do something different. It's a different energy. So that was a really cool answer, man, because you have just been yourself all along. And that's awesome.
I just realized why I had to make it a resolution too to go on offense. I guess I've been a defensive style person my whole life without kind of realizing it. So, yeah, it
Yeah.
takes a lot for me to go on. But yeah, that wow, I never really thought about a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
But you reframed it to fit your
Yes.
style of
Yep.
play.
Hmm.
That's different. It's not offense, but it's not offense for like sake of attack, like a traditional
Right.
sales.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
I'm building the long term thing, and that's
Mhm.
huge, right? Because defense wins championships,
Yep.
classic, right?
Yeah.
Question number two. I'm glad you like
Okay.
that. Question number two is I have a shot at one of I think I have a shot at one of the answers to this.
Okay.
Stranded on a desert island or stranded in a locked up, dorm room for that matter, if you want to call it that now, for the rest of your life. You get to bring one movie and one TV show, both, one each. What are you bringing and why?
Okay. That's a little okay. So the movie. So I have three favorite movies of all time. It's Goodfellas, Wedding Crashers, and Field of Dreams. I My favorite movie is Wedding Crashers. But if I'm on a desert island, I would probably say Goodfellas because well, no, I'm gonna say Wedding Crashers. I was gonna say because Goodfellas, at least there's like action, drama, a ton of comedy in Goodfellas. I get it all, but I'm just gonna stick with Wedding Crashers because if I'm on a desert island, I'm gonna need a lot of comfort. Um, if you, th- so I know you want to say Entourage for the series. You know what? I think I will go Entourage. See, the late Entourage though was so not that good for me. My three favorite show. Oh, you know what? Oh, that's actually easy. I will go with The Simpsons
Ooh.
because it's so funny because the first 10 years of The Simpsons, that is comfort food. But I have now not watched about 20 years of Simpsons. So I'm getting about 37 years of TV on a desert island, and I can watch new episodes I've never seen. So I'm kind of zagging there a little bit. But I think
That's a
the
smart
series,
answer.
yeah, you think about death every day. I think about these desert island questions every day almost because I do you ask about music next? Because that's my other thing is
I don't, but I should.
okay. Because
I should.
I literally have it on my phone, my desert island albums.
Oh, do tell.
So now you're making me choose one. But I'll give you. I have seven. Now, lest you think seven's a lot, and be like, look, you try to narrow it
Fire
down,
away.
and I can cut it seven. I go the first Weezer album, the Blue album, Nirvana Unplugged in New York, Kid A by Radiohead, Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory, and the first Foo Fighters record. That's like my five, but my seven is kind of cheating. It's the single soundtrack, which has like a bunch of Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and then Tom Petty's Greatest Hits, which is like not an album, but it was sold like an album, so I'm counting it. So those are my seven Desert Island records, and I think
Awesome.
about it way too much. that it, so yeah.
Here's what I love about this question. So I believe that the media we choose to engage with routinely says a
Hmm.
lot about what we care about. What do we give our attention to?
Hmm.
I've yet to have somebody who doesn't put something with laughter, with humor.
Right,
That's
yeah,
why Wedding
it
Crashers really fit.
mhm.
But I think that especially like what are you engaging with comfort? Like it was a very insightful response with The Simpsons. Like Simpsons also brings a lot of thought into their humor, and there's
Oh,
all
yeah,
the things Simpsons predicted this thing and that thing.
mhm,
Like there could be a lot
yeah.
of interesting things, and it like I know you're curious about little cultural quips and things like that, and the sign of the times. Like that's to me that speaks very that's very honest, Colin. Like what
I
a
learned
great
more about The Simpsons from I learned more about the history of the world from The Simpsons than much of elementary school. Or at least if I learned it in elementary school, I was like, "I saw that on The Simpsons first." So I'm actually a little well-versed,
I
on
love it.
that. But The Simpsons, there's so much thought in The Simpsons, and I've had people tell me like, "Oh, that's such a mind-numbing show." And I said, "Maybe sometimes." I said, "But if you want, I'll pull you a good hour's worth of moments and clips, and there's some real stuff in there. Real emotional stuff in there."
Yeah,
No.
especially once you start watching things over and over again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what I love about this. Like, if you actually watch things repeatedly,
Mhm.
you start to go, "Oh, there was a lot of thought to this.
Oh, yeah,
There
yeah.
was a lot of depth to this.
Mhm,
I didn't think about that." And most people cast it aside because we're so distracted by so many things
mhm,
every day, all the time, and when you slow down and you have nothing else to watch, you really get real intentional and you start to look for weird patterns in things. And
mhm.
that's why I think it's a fun question. So great answer, dude. That was awesome. That
Yeah,
was
sure.
really awesome. Final question.
Final
Let's bring it
question.
back to death. What is your deathbed meal? Who are you sharing it with and why?
Um, so I don't know my deathbed meal, but can I tell you an item that will be on my deathbed meal, and it's you're never gonna guess it? Snow. We go outside and
No.
play in the snow, and I'm just eating snow the whole time, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to eat on my deathbed, but I think I want snow. Um, my dad always made really good meals. My wife makes really good meals. Honestly, this is a 100% answer, and this probably speaks to like we talk about me kind of following and stuff like that. The meal that's put in front of me that I've not had to think about, that is my favorite meal. I I love food. I love eating. I love gas station hot dogs and I love gourmet. I love it all. But what I don't do well is, what do you want to eat tonight? I have no idea. I have no idea. So you're telling me I get to be on my deathbed and someone's just going to bring me food? I'm sure they'll make it halfway decent, or even if not, like I'll just eat the oatmeal that they give me, I guess. Um, my people, it would be just a very small group of my most immediate family, and then probably at the end, I'd kick everyone out, it would just be me and Val, and that's kind of it. I've always liked small groups, like, I actually like, I love a double date, 6 is fine, 8's good. You get into the 10s, man, you're kind of having a solo date anyways, because you're all you can't I can't hear anybody else at the table, so, small groups, so, um yeah, it's probably cheating, but I'd love for people to pop in and out, and I could talk to them for a few minutes. I'm really dying in this scenario, right? So I'd like to see a lot of people, but I don't want to eat that much dinner with a lot of people. So
I love your responses, man.
I've thought
It's
about these
so
things. I
you.
really have thought about it, and I try to answer them intellectually. Like I'm assuming if I'm on my deathbed, I'm in a hospital. They can only make so much, Like they're not gonna roast me a turkey just for me because I'm dying.
Hey,
But
this is your dream, brother. You can make it however you want right now. That's the whole point. But reason why I ask this is I have this thing, the eyes are the windows to the soul, but they're really just a mirror.
Mhm,
And on your deathbed, theoretically, the person sitting across from you is the reflection of the highest evolution of yourself. And as you just said, it was your wife. We
mhm.
already talked about it today. And, I think that we don't this whole thing coming back to we don't tell each other why we love each other, but the reality is why we love somebody is also that part of what us that we want to that we see in somebody else. And that's really hard to wrap our heads around. And I think the more we start to remind each other of that, the more we really remind ourselves of like, I need to come back to me and be intentional about that. So I think there's something really beautiful in, whatever that is that you love Val for. Like, and I know you're a great guy to her and you just love her undyingly. It's just the more we keep reminding the people that we love why, the exact reasons why we love, it gives us so much clarity on how to go about our life. We cut all the extra noise out. We try to do so much extra shit, the all or nothing thing. When it's like, I just needed this. That's it. It takes all the pressure off.
Mhm.
And ironically, all the extra fun stuff happens as a byproduct
Mhm.
without the pressure, without the extra stress. And I think it's really beautiful. So yeah, I loved your answer, man. Especially just the way you respond is just Colin. Like it's he's gonna weave and unwind this thing and just like we're gonna get there somehow. But I like how you don't just give me an unthought through response. Like it's very cool. Other
Yeah, thank
part, and there's another beautiful thing about you that I want to share.
you. Okay.
Was it your bachelor party? We were in that basement of that bar, wherever it was,
Yeah, my stag
and
party, yeah.
yeah, and I remember really opening up to you and your dad
Yeah,
because I
remember that
really
well.
always admired that relationship. I think I was crying probably too at that point. I was really touched by it because I was going through plenty of stuff then and was definitely at a place of me going through a lot of like, what does it mean to be me? Caleb was going through his quarter life crisis. Not like I went through my midlife crisis at my quarter life.
Right.
I'm a little ahead of the curve on this one. In some ways good, some ways whatever. But something I always like really appreciated was the depth that you and your father and the closeness you seem to both have, and I really cherished that. These three questions, when I was younger, I always knew my dad loved me. Like there was love. We didn't say it. Now we do, and that's a great part. And thanks to you, you inspired a lot of the effort I put into building a deeper connection with my father in a more verbal and direct fashion. But when we were younger, the way we connected is once every 4 to 6 weeks, there was a boys' night. He would take me out
Mhm.
for a bite to eat. We'd go to Sports Authority back when that fucking existed to have a bite and then go catch a movie together. And
Yeah,
that's how I always knew. So these three questions are the overarching arc of like how I felt love in that relationship throughout my life. And very fitting to share that also with you right now. Just my way of saying like, hey, here's more love, like that kind of bond, kind of bringing it full circle.
appreciate it, man. I mean, I do remember that well, and, you know, I am very lucky. I had, 2 loving parents, and, sometimes you take those things for granted. I I do my best to realize you learn as you go in life, man. Not everyone has these things that you just take for granted. And I'm saying this to you. You have a good relationship with your dad, and it sounds like you have an even better one now. And you even like you look back, it's not. I mean, you and I probably met some people that have awful relationships with their father. Um, I don't. I'm lucky, and if anything, I'm just trying to do that as much as I can forward. And it's without getting too emotional and sentimental. You talked about you and your dad kind of having a boys' night out. I just kind of did that recently with my 3-year-old, where Val took our oldest out to a family dinner. It was a little further away, and so me and Levi just kind of stayed back because his bedtime was going to be earlier. And I just took him out to. We just went to a little restaurant, ordered some food, chatted. He watched football. He asked me who my favorite football player was, and I said they're now retired. And he said, like Grammy retired? I said, yeah, pretty much the same thing. Um, we came home, we watched the show together, and like I put him to bed. And when Val got home, I said, "How was your night?" I said, I wasn't really dad, I was friend tonight. And we just kind of you don't realize how much you can bond when you're just being friends sometime, and it was just really cool. And I looked I'm looking forward to doing that with Owen here in the near future. Well, I kind of just did. I took him out for smoothies, and
Love it.
you just it's. That is also a big all not that does not need to be all or nothing, man. Just have some words, take them out, be nice to each other. I was trying to get a little deep with my 6-year-old. I'm like, "Who would you wanna take to smoothies sometimes?" And he mentioned, like, this girl. I said, "Like, on a date?" And he was like, "No!" I was like, "Oh, whatever, fine." It's like, "Alright, I tried," but then it's just back to just being friend, and, so I look forward to that part of life, but speaking of the big O, he's getting off the school bus here in about 10 minutes, and
So we'll bring
so
it to a sharp close in a second.
yeah, no problem, man.
People are listening right now and they're like, I want to connect with this guy. Colin's a good dude. I want to make sure I'm on the mailing list for when they do start shipping wherever it is, or if I am in the Rochester area, how do I
Mhm,
connect? What's the best way for people to
yeah.
connect with you?
Website, smithwoodbmm.com, Facebook, smithwoodbmm, Instagram, smithwood_BMM, uh, Google Smithwood Bloody Mary mix. We don't have a ton of like search engine optimization. I'm pretty sure will come up. I'm Colin Smith. You can find me on Facebook. Look up Rochester, Cortland. Send me a message. My phone number is on our label. So I think sometimes people call. They're like, "Am I speaking with the owner of Smithwood Bloody Mary mix?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is Colin. It's my personal line." Or like they think I have some business line. I'm like, "It's just my phone number." So text me. I love getting texts. Unless you're trying to get me to buy auto insurance, in which case I don't love texts. But yeah, connect. We'll put it in, I'm sure you'll do up your magic on the links to this like that. And so we'll go from there.
Yeah, if you're lazy, don't worry, we'll put it there. Also, if you do get the great privilege of becoming friends with him directly on Facebook, Colin is renowned for his Friday I'm in Love series, and it's one of my favorite things. I've already recommended that's what your podcast should be. It's
I
Friday,
know.
Colin's in Love, or at least something like that. It's
I've
time. It's
I've
time to
dialed
do
it
that.
back. I've dialed it back. I used to do it every Friday, and then I got a little disillusioned with social media, but I think I'm ready to get back. Kind of in the way that I got not apples to apples, but like I did used to like doing this thing, and it doesn't really need to be for anyone else but me. Like a podcast. So I'm gonna start doing it up again and going from there. So, and the
Love it.
door is that my mom? Oh, Val, hi.
Final thing, buddy.
All of you. Oh, the whole gang's here.
Bring him in.
I'm
Final
still
words of
good.
wisdom.
There's a lot to talk
They can
about.
hear the man say it right now.
Come here, bud.
What
Wait till you see this.
this is gonna be
Come
great.
here. This is
That
how he walks
is
in.
awesome. You're looking great, bud. You're looking
Hi,
great.
Mr. Caleb.
Go Bills, huh? Let's go, buddy.
Go Bills.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Final words of wisdom. It's even better that your son gets to hear it. Final words of wisdom. You're looking back on your life. You're at your final day and you're looking back right now. I'm doing a final tweak on this words of wisdom.
Boy.
What words of wisdom are you giving to yourself to live the rest of your life right now?
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I words of wisdom. So this is what I've learned, and I got to tell everyone else.
For you, man. It's not for anybody else. How
It's
are
not
you going
fair.
to live the rest of your life?
Um, Go figure out a way to be a husband of one and a father of two or more of at least one because it's all worth it. How's that for a bow? And actually, I genuinely believe that too. Because well, you know what? We've talked movies and stuff like that. How about this? Happiness only real when shared, and I really believe that. And of course, I'm blanking on the movie Into the Wild. Into the Wild. Happiness only real when shared, and that's a fact.
Colin, I love you, bro. I'm so
Been a
grateful for
pleasure,
our
man.
friendship has been,
Been a pleasure.
and I'm so glad we did this. Can't
Me
wait to
too.
be the guest on your podcast.
We'll s we'll see. We'll see.
Good enough.
All right, bud.
Everybody go connect with Colin. Go get some Bloody Mary mix. We
Yeah,
love you
rock
guys.
on.
Thanks for sharing your time, your energy with us. And until next time, I remind you to love everybody.